like saved. Congrats. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. I'm happy for you guys.
All right. Well, then we'll just leave it at that. Let me start it now then.
I'm happy for you guys.
What happened to you?
What?
Oh no, you still here. It's a little choppy, but
so when Edric talks, we're gonna have like a 10-second delay.
You need to get in the frame here. There you go.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, Joey. Yeah, all right, get in this.
Whatever, man.
All right.
How are you guys feeling?
Well, when you're the favorites like we are, like it's not quite as fun as when you're winning it, when there's a lot of doubt in the back of your minds. That being said, there are so many people out to get the Warriors and always have to get their fans, and this is just like total vindication. So it's almost as good as 2015, but probably not quite.
No,
go ahead.
To me, it's not the same as 2015, and I don't think many things will be, because it's just like, somebody asked me this earlier, and I compared it to the Giants winning this World Series in 2010, comparing it to like 2012 and 2014. There's just nothing that really compares to 2010 because it's just so long that we've been waiting. But I guess most people are asking, like, well, does it feel different because you signed KD or the Warriors signed KD, and not so much like winning the next one or winning another one?
I mean, yeah, it should feel different. It is different. I mean,
yeah.
There's no way around it. You know, Joe, you said there's everybody who's out to get you guys, or like, I mean, I feel like teams were out set out to like beat you because you guys won 73 games last year and then signed Kevin Durant. But it's for me, and mind you, I'm an outsider. I'm not like a Warriors faithful, so I may not be getting this. Well, is there a super like delay on this or something?
No, that was my fault. I just turned on a video that I didn't want to turn on.
Jesus, this guy. But I mean, from the outside, it didn't seem like there were that many like haters, quote unquote, or like people trying to get you, like you mentioned. Did it? No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably like embellishing it a bit. I'm probably taking a couple people and making them out to be like more than they are, but I mean, Nick Wright comes to mind. Like that guy.
Wait, who?
Nick Wright, the guy from Fox Sports. He initially gives us props for winning the title when we go up 3-0. Then they win one game, and the very next thing he does, it says, "I bought a ticket for Game 6 because it's going back to Game 6." For the first time, he finally admits it.
No, Nick, and he's a huge LeBron fan. I mean, there's no way. I mean, that's who he is. He's literally said that before. But also, I mean, he's the only, and I wouldn't even call him necessarily a Warriors hater. He's just a LeBron supporter. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Warriors hate is like, oh, Steph Curry's trash. Like, KD's like weak for doing this. I think I think there's a difference between LeBron like fandom and Warriors hate. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's totally fair. And like, I really think that the most compelling argument about that people give about just like how unfair this whole thing is that it's not that anyone's really mad at the Warriors for signing Kevin Durant. Like, any team should try to sign Kevin Durant anytime he's available. I think what people are most mad about is that Kevin Durant would decide to go to the Warriors. So people are mad at Kevin Durant. And then other people are just jealous of the Warriors, but they're not ultimately not mad at them. It's that they're, you know what I mean? I can understand where they're coming from on the development.
I don't even think people are like I remember when LeBron left the Cleveland the first time, and people were just like, "Yo, I hate this guy." You know what I mean? And I feel like we've kind of like people kind of learned their lesson or whatever. Hey, whatever terms you want to use. And people didn't hate Kevin Durant for leaving OKC, and I didn't really get the feeling that like people hated Kevin Durant. People were like, "Oh, that sucks that he went there" or whatever like that. But people weren't like, "Yo, fuck this guy," pardon my language or whatever.
Okay, we'll get the E. We'll get the E next to our podcast listing.
I mean, we can blur, like beat that or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's different. I mean, I'm like, I can't lie. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm also not like juiced for you guys. I'm not like, oh man, like Kevin Durant finally got his ring. You know what I mean? Like, I know I feel like personally I would have been like, oh shoot, like Durant struggled and like fought for and like reached the apex and like pull, did it. And I mean, yeah, he still reached the apex and did that, but that initial struggle wasn't there, which is, I mean, that's not a requirement. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, if you take this out and put it in the real world, it's like, okay, well, shoot, I got offered a better job, or I can go start at this company or whatever. Of course, we would all take it. So it's, I mean, there's two sides to it. I mean, maybe, but like at the end of the day, if he's good with it, I mean, who are we? And
Well,
I feel like he made that clear this season. Like, we don't mean shit to him.
Struggle, I guess. I mean, 2012 was kind of a struggle for him. I mean, when he got to the finals and he didn't win it, and then
exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
He went through it, and then he realized that he's probably not going to be able to get there, so he joined the Warriors. And
no, for sure. But with that being said, what I'm saying,
won the championship for the Warriors. Pretty clear.
What I'm saying is like, okay, so he realizes it in 2012. He's like, oh, I can't do it here, right? And that it's not that it like, because I don't want to put it in. It can be two things. Or one, it's like, yo, this Warriors team is great, because this Warriors team was already great last year. Going into the finals, people were like, yo, this 73 win team is one of the best teams ever, right? Like, we can all admit that. We remember, like, I'm not gonna forget that. Like, I remember people talking last year, like, oh, the Cavs have no chance, things happened, and it doesn't, unfold that way. And when I say the struggle, I'm talking about like, the play. Like, I mean, you guys have lost 2 games in 37, whatever. Like, with the last 37, you're like 35-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't the struggle. You know what I mean? And that's not, like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away. I mean, I'm just like, damn, like he won. Like, that's dope. Good for him. You know what I mean? Where like OKC wins, I'm like, damn, like, yo, like him and Westbrook, or him and this squad, they did that shit. You mean, you guys could have won last year easily, right? I mean, without him.
Yeah. But this year, I don't know. Like, this year, you think we could have won without Kevin Durant?
I mean, it's a different team, but the core is all there. Like, Kevin Durant, he did a great job. He hopped on and integrated himself, and I think asserted himself as the best player on that team. No shots at Curry, because Curry's great. I think KD is great as well, and just a little bit better.
Yeah, well, definitely in this series, there's no comparison. I don't think. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's one series.
Games with good numbers. Like Durant's numbers last game, Game 4, they looked good on paper, but they weren't. Like, watching the game, you can tell that he wasn't great. Like, defensively, he wasn't great. Offensively, he got his numbers, but he was inefficient in getting them. But every other game, I think Durant was by far the most impactful player on our team. Like, more impactful than Draymond, Curry.
Yeah.
Clay's been great all series too, though. But
yeah,
I mean,
for sure. And I also don't think like one series indicates that, oh, he was better this series, therefore he's like the better player. I just think he was like better like all around, all year, whatever, all career, what have you. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was interesting. I've never felt this way after a finals.
I hear you. I mean, look, like, I'm really excited right now, but if we were to go 16-0 next playoffs, and like, I mean, winning most games by 15, it's like, what does that mean for the league? Like, I want the narrative to be like, we have a great team and the other teams step up, and then we have challengers. If it's just
and that's what I believe it should be. That's what I don't think the Warriors are bad for the league. I think it should be that, like, oh, teams are going to get better, and like people talk about super teams of like the 8. I mean, people don't call it super teams of the 80s, but it was because there were 8 less teams. you know what I mean, whatever it was, like when the Celtics were running around and stuff like that, you had squads where it was, Mikhail Parrish, Larry Bird, like all of that or whatever. And we don't get that now because it's so spread out. There's so many teams, you can't get players like that. But we are seeing that happen, not quote unquote organically as like purists want to call it or whatever, but it's the same. It's kind of the same thing where it's just like, okay, well, shoot, we're going to have a few teams and they're going to have 3-4 like people that can really do this. And we're going to see it come to blows. And so like, that's something to look forward to. People have been talking about, this is bad for the league. And then we're like advertising for that documentary, the 80 Celtics versus Lakers. I'm just like, well, we're talking about this how many years later? Like, this isn't bad.
Well, I mean, ratings and stuff say that it's just people's opinions that make it seem like it's bad for the league. But
exactly.
People are tuning in more than ever. Like, I think they said game 3 or 4 was like one of the most high-rated games in the last like 10 years or something. So,
yeah. Well, shoot, and just basketball-wise, like, this is some high-level basketball.
Yeah, definitely. That was today's game. I want to say not game 4, game 3. Both of those games were amazing basketball. The talent on the floor was just incredible. I mean, JR making those crazy shots, and it's just like, so much.
Yeah. Well, shoot, even game 4, the Warriors were down 20 for a lot of it, but that was high. Like the whole second half, you're watching that game on edge still because you're like, okay, shoot, 1-2 buckets. This game is completely different. It's not. It was quote like it was a blowout, but that was not, in my opinion. I was like, this is a close game. Or it felt that way anyway.
Yeah, I think that every game in the series except game 1 had that feel for me. I think game 1, the Cavs really played poorly, and we would have won that game 99 out of 100 times, no matter how we played. But every other game, I don't care what the final score ended up being, where it wasn't handed to us or whatever. And I was a little frustrated throughout the playoffs, or throughout the finals, about how people were saying that the Warriors were just like these preordained champions. I think that was extremely disrespectful to the Cavaliers. They got to be, one of the, 5 best teams of the last like 7 years or something. They just ran into. I think they're better than they were last year. I think.
Yeah,
they're better than 2015. Probably better than we were in 2015.
Yeah,
2016 if we're healthy, I don't know, but like they're really good, and that was an incredible finals. And I don't know what they need to do to get better, unfortunately, because they're still just a little short. But
I think you mentioned it earlier. Yeah. Trading Kevin Love as probably their best option.
It's like their only option. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if even though it's a good plan.
Yeah,
what if you get Blake Griffin for Kevin Love, just straight up? What do you think now? No, okay.
No. That's not it. Like they need someone that can create off the dribble. Like, and not like Harry, but like a wing. Like they need a 3.
I think you're right. Ideally, they had like a 3-and-D guy who can score, and can create a little bit. That would be huge. I'm
trying to think.
Who do you get?
LeBron hates playing 4,
but he should.
No, but
that he doesn't like playing 4 or whatever, or at least starting it. Obviously plays 4 throughout the game, but
the thing with that though, like these lineups are getting smaller and smaller. He hated playing 4 when it was like, oh, I gotta just guard David West for, you know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. Now you're at the 4 and stuff. You have 4 out, 1 in. You're playing the 4, but you're starting on the wing in the corner or something like that. It's not, you're not just planted in the post. You still have room to operate. So you mean say they sign a 3 and have a lot smaller lineup or whatever. And just run not a different offense, but, start with that look where it's 4 out. It doesn't really matter. You're just playing with 2 small forwards instead of 1.
They're not that far. Like maybe the Warriors just get a little bit worse and then they're champions. Yeah. But the problem is they're just so capped out that even like an average wing player who can play both ways, like just getting that, they may be priced out of that. So I don't know.
A young Richard Jefferson would be perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
Like actually,
huge difference.
But it just sucks that Kevin Love's like the only piece that's really like movable where you can get something back. Because until before game 4, I thought he was the second best player for the Cavs in the series. I mean, even game 3, him going like 1 for 9 or whatever, he was so active defensively on the boards. Like you know me, I've not been a Kevin Love fan since before the Cavs and his Timberwolves days. I was like, oh, these are kind of inflated numbers, whatever. But no, he showed up, whether he's hitting shots or not, which is a good indicator of somebody you definitely want on your squad.
Yeah. A lot more respect for him. I think I'd probably put him in the top 20-ish players in the league now, maybe like 20th or something. And before the series, I would have had him at like 35.
That's fair.
He definitely went on my list, and Kyrie went on my list too, just because second finals in a row where he, he's having games where he's going 15 for 27 against probably the best defense in the NBA.
Oh, right? Yeah, for sure the best defense.
He's up. I probably wouldn't have had him in my top 20 before this series either. Now I'm putting him top 15 maybe. That's just
interesting.
But I still, if I were to do the player rankings, I still go probably LeBron. I think KD now moved to 2. I go Kawhi 3, Curry 4.
Yeah.
That's not too different than it was last year, but
it's a little mixes.
Yeah,
mixed up a little bit.
Just like a year ago, I would have had Curry. I would have LeBron 1, Curry 2, and then probably a gap, and then
really
3 Durant. Yeah, and now it's like, if anything, it's like LeBron, KD, gap.
Yeah.
Kawhi, Seth, pretty close.
Oh yeah, I think Kawhi and Steph are close. Very, very close.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think stood out in the game tonight? Like what? Let's put it this way. What player stood out to you tonight? That might have been
one thing that's been killing me all the series. I'm just like Kyrie turnovers / bad shots are the absolute worst when they don't go in. Like I've never seen like such a and coaches talk about it all the time, like live ball turnovers versus versus dead ball turnovers and stuff like that. Kyrie is the worst live ball turnover machine I've ever seen. Like, and not saying that in like
because that is one of Steph Curry's biggest.
Oh, he is too. But sometimes at least Steph Curry, like he does it when the floor is like somewhat balanced or something like that. Oh, Kyrie, I'm just like, yo, this is the absolute worst outcome right here. Where he could go when he puts his head down and he'll get on like the left wing and try to get to the rack, like to the middle. He'll go and then he'll do his little like half spin or hesitation. And then you have like KD kind of helping down, digging a little bit from the top. And next thing you know, like Curry kind of loses it, fumbles it, and you guys are just gone. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like that's terrible. And then, his shots, I mean, coaches say all the time, bad shots are just as bad as turnovers, but his are awful. Like the floor is like I said, the floor is unbalanced off the front rim, back iron, whatever. Like maybe even it's worse when it's like a pull up, or like a little mid range pull up at the free throw line, and you guys already have a head start because you're chasing that ball down, and you just continue with it. And I'm just like, oh, it's tough. I mean, that's part of his game. It's part of like who he is as a player. But like this is why I say he's a 2 guard. He's just a short 2 guard.
This conversation, literally, you can replace Steph Curry with Kyrie Irving, and I think
I see it. Like, Steph Curry has a little bit more awareness with his like turnovers, but his turnovers are brutal. I'm just like, God, like, yeah, man.
I think that is like what the Cavs did really well. I think in the past 2 games, defensively, is really trapping Steph at the very top of the key. Whenever there's whenever they try to run a pick and roll, they trap so hard. He turns it over. Like it's hard to throw over those guys. I mean, it's a really smart defensive strategy. And I think several times we got nothing out of the pick and roll, even though he passed it out of the double team.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when Steph turns it over, like around half court, and like. That's like unstoppable for LeBron. I mean, anyone actually, like Kyrie or LeBron, 2 great open court finishers. Like when he turns it over at half court, you might as well give him 2 points.
Yeah, no, I was surprised the Cavs weren't trapping off the pick and roll earlier, even with like KD and stuff too, just to get it out of you guys' hands and just make you guys take that like retreat dribble a step away from the play. Because the beginning of the series, like first 2 games, I was just like, you guys are just playing a man down for no reason, just having this guy recover. You might as well just trap him and take him completely out of the play. But they did eventually, and it definitely was effective. You know, I'd rather live with Zaza and David West making decisions than KD.
Yeah. I think that last point is really crucial. I think this series could be the beginning of a revolution when it comes to playing center, who are basically 6'7" and are not anything close to what a center used to be. We've already gone a long way in that direction, but the Cavaliers late in the game put 4 shooters on the floor. LeBron drove in every time and scored every play. And of course they were down 10, so they couldn't get back in it, because on the other end, you know, they were having trouble stopping us because they had nobody with any size. And like, what our problem was early on in the game, we're running pick and rolls with Steph Curry. Zaza Pachulia sets the screen, we give it to Zaza, and then Zaza can't handle the ball. So then we put in David West for a while, and David West is much better, but still not good enough. And so it's just like literally running a pick and roll is actually a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Just let them go one-on-one. And then if they can create and then get something else, and you can get an assist going one-on-one if you beat your guy at the dribble, you know, and then the defense moves. It's way better than running a pick and roll with Zaza Pachulia. So if you can the only way the Warriors are going to have, you know, their optimal lineup is they need to go really, really small. They play Kevin Durant at center. They play Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green. So that's a really small lineup in your normal NBA, you know, over the course of NBA history. But it actually is fine this day because we're going to score like 1.5 points per possession with that lineup. And when you play Cleveland's just going to put LeBron at center, and they're going to be small. And it's just going to be this 130 to 125 final all the time. And you know what? That might actually be the best like lineup in the league. That might be the best lineup of all time. I'm not, if we're being honest. Like, does any team actually beat the Warriors when they go small in the history of the NBA? I obviously we'll never know. But like, yeah, the Warriors would give up a lot of rebounds and give up some post points, but they're going to get 130 on. And like any team I can think of, you know, like it's just too many mismatches. So,
I mean, the only way to because you don't want to play that game with you guys because you're not going to win. You're not going to win a shootout. You're not going to win, go back and forth. I'm like, yo, like, just throw Matt. If you have like size that can actually move, that's the problem with like, I feel like a lot of teams in the NBA going against you is you guys go small and people have to match because they don't have bigs that can punish little dudes down low.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it's just like, okay, well, we can throw Andre Drummond in the post and like feeding the ball. And okay, he's going to turn around, miss a little jump hook or get fouled and go and miss some free throws. And you guys are going the other way, going, spreading the floor, hitting threes. That's not a winning formula. You know what I mean? Unless you have like a Boogie, except for he's on a shit team. You know, maybe you have Boogie. Okay, let's throw it to Boogie in the post. Let's see if you guys can guard him with this tiny lineup. You know what I mean? But
that's why Draymond is so crucial, right? Because he is one of those ultimate like two-way players that can guard essentially 1 through 5. And you saw that in this series. I mean, sometimes he would get switched. Like they switched so much, he would guard Kyrie, then he would switch back on Tristan Thompson, box out. Like his numbers weren't great, but Draymond's impact.
He's great defensive, but I mean, I'm not gonna ask Draymond to just guard Boogie for long stretches of time. You know what I mean? That's the kind of big. That's what I'm saying. We don't have like a bunch of bigs like that. Like Tristan Thompson isn't gonna give you anything in the post. You can't feed him on the block. You know what I mean? You can't feed most of the big guys because that's not how we play anymore. That caters like directly to your guys' small lineups.
So how many bigs in the league do you think can actually do something like that? You got like Boogie, obviously. Do you throw like Anthony Davis?
The Spurs were counting on LaMarcus being that guy, but
he's just not.
We've read his stories.
Yeah, I think Memphis is the one team in the NBA that actually plays us the correct way.
Yeah.
The problem is they still get burned with Randolph and Gasol on the floor a lot. Like they can't guard us, but they basically throw the ball in the post all the time, try to get 80 points in the paint in the game. And then on defense, they just say, you know what, Andre Iguodala, you're wide open. Just beat us.
Right.
Maybe that team is good enough. Like maybe that team is like basically the Spurs with David Robinson, Tim Duncan. And if that team played this Warriors team, maybe we do lose that series because they just throw the ball in the post 100 times. And
you got to make him pay for going small.
Yeah, and like, look, Draymond's great, but he's not guarding Tim Duncan in the post. He's just not going to do it. I mean, and then we're going to have to put bigger guys in the game, and yeah, like that would be an interesting series because like we're talking about, they would shoot 60% from the floor, but we would still win some games because we're just so offensively.
Well, what's crazy is I don't know. Was it last year that you guys played the Pelicans in the first round?
2 years ago.
Oh shoot, damn, that's wow. Well, yeah. So I remember that series starting, and I was like, yo. Before Tyreek got injured, which is crazy to say now, I'm like, oh man, Tyreek would have been a game changer for that squad or whatever. I was like, yo, the Warriors are gonna have trouble with this squad. It's not just cake. It's 1-8 and all that, but like this is gonna actually, there's gonna be some games here. And then Tyreek, messed his like ankle up, or I can't remember, ankle, knee up or whatever, and he was kind of gone. They just had no guards. And yeah, it just wasn't. And those games were still kind of close, like a couple of them or whatever. But that's what I was saying that like in 2015, I guess.
No, you're right. I mean, Anthony Davis probably in the last. I mean, we've played 12 series. LeBron's the best player we played. Anthony Davis is probably the second best player we played. Yeah. Like even well, let me put it this way: I'm not, because Kawhi got injured, so it's kind of unfair.
Yeah.
But even had Kawhi played the whole series, it was just the way Anthony Davis played in that series was the most threatening. Yeah. That I've ever seen, and yet we swept them. But like,
it was close. It was close. One of those went to overtime.
It was incredible.
Anthony Davis was unstoppable.
Yeah,
It was that team. Was Drew playing? I think Drew was playing that series too. But by far, Anthony Davis was.
Drew Holiday just come back from injury also, so he was like limited on minutes, and then shoot.
I mean, Ryan Anderson was the one who went off for a while.
Yeah.
He had that one game where he went off.
Yeah.
What do they have on that? No, he wasn't.
They might have had Quincy Pondexter.
Quincy Pondexter, the Steph Curry stopper. That's what they put him on instead for a while instead. Yeah, I mean that series was pretty close. I think up until that crazy game in New Orleans.
So the last game of the series, we won by like 30 or whatever.
Yeah, but the one before
was close.
The one that
I went to game 2. And we won by like 10, and just the whole game was like, I was just kind of concerned because I was like, Anthony Davis has 40 points, we can't stop him.
Yeah.
If they just hit a shot, it might have been a 1-point game. The
right.
Couldn't hit a 3. They just couldn't do anything besides give the ball to Anthony Davis.
What do you think about going back to the 2017 NBA Finals? What do you think about Steve Kerr's adjustments from last year? Like how he played certain guys in his rotation? Because, I mean, in Game 7 of last year, the biggest criticism was him playing Varejao and Ezeli after Bogut got hurt in Game 6, I think.
Yeah.
Bogut got hurt in Game 5.
In Game 5, he missed,
Right, so in Game 7, his biggest criticism, at least from media and from fans, is that he played those guys way too much and LeBron just destroyed them.
I mean, I feel like Kerr's one of those go with what got you here guys, right?
Right.
And he's won 2 championships. I mean, it's not to say, you should be complacent with, just because you won, you can't get any better. But I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because tonight he played, I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but he didn't play JaVale at all. He played Zaza quite a bit in the first and third quarters, which is pretty normal. I mean, if you look at his regular rotation, West usually starts.
Then he had West out there for a bit.
Yeah, but he put in, I think, Iguodala for most of the third and all of the fourth quarter. So you could tell already that he was ready to ride that small ball lineup the entire way.
Yeah.
That's something that he usually doesn't do, like almost never. So, I mean, I think it was pretty interesting to see, and that was a moment where he didn't stick with what got him there. Like, he didn't stick to his normal rotations. He didn't wait until, like, the 7-minute mark to put in Steph. He put him in early. Like, I think it was like 8:45 or 9 minutes left in the game, and he put in Steph, and that's, like, unheard of. For Steve Kerr's rotation. I mean, just his philosophy is that he wants to keep his guys fresh. And I think even though it wasn't technically a must-win for the Warriors, he still treated it like it was kind of a must win. Like
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's a chance to close it out. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the thing. I mean, you know, people criticizing last year and saying, "Oh, we played these lineups for too long." That was over a stretch of 3 games, pretty much. You know, you don't want to. I mean, for him, I'm assuming it's like, yo, we say like, "Oh, these numbers are great. These numbers are great," but that's also in that time. You don't want to overextend those minutes for that lineup and become vulnerable to like a whole bunch of other issues that may come with that.
Yeah, I mean, he gets criticized constantly by Warriors Twitter because we are a great team.
Yeah.
Anytime we lose one game, it seems like it's like he must be the worst coach in the world. But I think in Game 3 he really got vindicated for not overplaying his stars, and then in the last game of the game, LeBron was not fresh in the end of that game. Now, it's not his fault that Kyle Korver misses a 3, and then like a possession or 2 later, Kyrie Irving dribbles the ball for 20 seconds and misses a shot. But still, he didn't he just wasn't you could tell that he didn't have total crispness.
So, for sure. I mean, and KD had been chilling all game. KD had been chilling.
Like, KD probably played 40 minutes, but it's just like LeBron played 45, 46, and KD was consistently not you didn't have to work as hard.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, those are when I say he's chilling, like those aren't hard minutes.
Yeah.
You know, like LeBron's, and this isn't to be like, oh, LeBron's minutes are hard.
Yeah.
Like, he's going against your guys' defense, and the things he has to do. It's just it's tough, man.
Yeah, I was definitely. I was appreciative of the fact that Kerr was willing to go smaller in this final game.
Yeah.
And I think that any coach in the world probably could have directed this team to, basically a championship is close. So it's almost like there isn't a lot there for him. And no matter what he does, it's going to be hard for any of us to ever really forgive him for Game 7. It's unfair because he was such a good coach, navigating us through a really tough Thunder series.
Hey.
But ultimately, when you play Anderson Varejao in the third quarter and the Cavs go on a 10-0 run or whatever it was, right then in 3 minutes, and then putting in Ezeli, I've tried to defend him, but the point is, we didn't have a lot of options at that point because we were hurt. But still, it just hurts so much that But I don't know. Now we're just opening up old wounds. It's a great night. It's great.
I mean, that's the job, though. I mean, that's the job. I mean, Kerr gets criticized. Everyone's getting criticized. Look how we talk about players now. You know what I mean? Kerr's fine. He's fine.
I like her a lot. I think he's a very good. I mean, look, his system changed everything. Steph is the most valuable offensive player in the NBA per a ton of metrics, and we would have never found that out without Steve Kerr becoming our coach. There's no doubt in my mind. But it's just now when you have Kevin Durant, you have 4 of the best 25 players in the NBA.
Oh,
probably
quite easily.
Probably 3
15.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm say 4 of the best 20 at the very worst.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering what Clay would be if he all the horrendous shots that he takes and absolutely no playmaking ability.
I mean, what 2 guards are better than Clay though right now?
Kyrie Irving,
not many. No, I mean, you're all right. These are good points, but I think I'd probably take 8 point guards over him. That's kind of what I'm saying. Is that
Gotcha.
But still, no, you're right. I mean, he's right there. He's somewhere around 20. And then Draymond with his defense, he's probably right around 10. And then I've already told you that I put Steph and KD in the top 5. So
I'd have Clay in the 15. Like he's a dog on defense. And man, you don't nobody shoots like that. Except for you guys.
I might be underrating him. I'm okay with that. But the point is that Steve Kerr's a great coach, but Mike Brown also went 10-0 without, I mean,
let's not give him all of that because all coaching, all that's prep in the preseason. There's so much I'm not giving Mike Brown that. I'm sorry.
I mean, Kerr has a system in place. He has a way of doing things. He has a culture there that he built.
Coaching.
It enables people to do things. It empowers his players to make plays that they would normally make when he's there. So I think he gets credit. I mean, he's the head coach. He gets credit.
Yeah, we'll cut this Kerr slander out from the video later. You can keep it in. I mean,
Yeah, how am I defending your guys' coach? Like, what is this?
My original question was, what do you feel about like how he's changed? Like, did Kerr learn something from last year? Did he?
I mean, I think
last year's Game 7 failure and turn it into a learning experience, I guess. And I guess
how could he not?
Well,
I mean, like that. If he did, that would be a bad coach.
He sticks with his guys. He sticks with Zaza when Zaza's doing stupid stuff. I mean, Zaza did so much stupid shit today. It was kind of like, what are you doing out there? But
I don't want to talk about
Bangs down there.
I don't want to talk about Zaza. I don't want to talk about David West. Like, nah.
I mean, those two guys are like mucking it up. That's what
I've been a David West hater for years. He's so trash. He's so trash. I mean, he can come fight me or whatever. All these people talking, oh, David West's hands. Da, da, da. I'm hard pass. Hard pass.
Hey, I never hated David West. It was just kind of weird. I don't know why you would have such disdain for David West.
I have the most disdain for David West.
Okay, well, this is actually the best part of this segment. So let's make sure we end with this. So how many? No. Let's be honest here. How many people in this series do you want to fight? Go. How many? Name them. David West, Zaza Pachulia.
No. Here, this is a better.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a better. Let me ask you a better question.
And I'm gonna answer too.
Okay, yeah, of course. I feel like
series?
for a lot of basketball fans, there's always a few players that if they do well, you're kind of like, really, like, come on, it's so and so. Like, how could he do well? So who, when you were watching the finals?
All right, time out. All right, I see where your questions are going. Let me just say this. I've had over the past 2 years, no, maybe 3 now. I've had the most. You know who I've talked about the most in detail in private conversations about out of this whole series? Iman Shumpert. And let me just like everybody's shitting on Iman Shumpert, whatever. I'm not here for that, but I feel like he is the only player in the NBA that doesn't get better in the offseason.
I mean,
the year after year after year constantly lets me down. And I'm always like, oh no, like Iman Shumpert, like he fits in like right here with this team, constantly letting me down, man.
I mean, I remember him on the Knicks.
I don't hate him. He's just.
I mean, he was such a valuable piece. I remember, and I can't remember what he was traded for, but he was a valuable asset in a trade.
I just want to know what he does in the offseason, basketball wise. Like, what does he work on, or what does he say he works on?
Injuries, all right. He's rehabbing his knee.
No. I mind you, after the 15 series, I was like, oh no, like his groin was messed up. It was tough for him to get that lateral movement because I was like, he's gonna be a dog on. I've never like, yo, you've been with this team for how long, and you are still so lost on offense. And like lost on defense when you're supposed to be a defensive stopper. Like,
really think he's lost on defense? I mean, maybe that's why maybe that's why Lou didn't play him. I noticed that Lou didn't.
He hustles. It looks like he's like, oh, let me, slap the floor, da. But he's so lost on defense in terms of like rotation. He's late. He's what?
He made an impact last game.
Yeah, I mean, but he's such a wild card. Like every time he touches the ball, I'm just like, I just get this anxiety. I'm just like, yo, just stop. But I don't. With that being said,
they're almost the same. I say you don't feel that with JR. I feel like they're almost like exact opposites. Like one's super good at offense, the other one's super good at defense.
JR was better defensively last year. Obviously, he has his moments on defense, or he had his moments on defense this year. But like offensively, he takes the shots he's supposed to take for the most part. Iman Shumpert, I don't even know what shots Shumpert's supposed to take anymore. Like the three today, like dog, that's a corner three, bro, and he's just clank, just side of the backboard. I was like, dog, like get this guy out of here, please. Like the one of the first plays he had when he came in the first half was, LeBron streaking down the sideline. He catches the ball in the wing. It's like, who is this guy? Go home.
Yeah. But that's kind of how the Cavs, their roster is built, right? I mean, who do you play over Iman Shumpert? Like
that's the problem. Iman Shumpert's not the worst player on that team, and that's a huge problem.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play Darren Williams or you go Kyle Korver, I guess. Like, those guys are all kind of
D Will just hurt my soul, man. I lobbied for him for so many years to get on my Mavs. Finally did, too late, and now I see this. I'm just like, oh, all these people are texting me, oh, your boy D Will, your boy D Will. I'm just like, yeah, that's him.
Joey had some good stats on D Will earlier. If you want to share those.
D Will in the whole series, 2 for 16, 5 points, 5 assists, 5 turnovers. There's your bench X factor.
Just the ultimate non-plus. Like, yo, come on.
Hey, his 5 points came in the only win.
They did, though.
They came in the only win of the series for the Cavs, so he's worth something.
All right, but let me answer the original question.
Okay.
So, I want to fight Zaza because I'm tired of his illegal screens and stuff and the fact that he did a horrible closeout on Kawhi Leonard. I want to fight Richard Jefferson because for some reason they keep putting a microphone in front of his face even though he's terrible. And I want to fight Iman because he talks a lot and he's terrible.
It's 3 people already. Who's keeping count?
I would want to fight Matt Barnes, but he's like our goon, you know? He's an official We Believe Warriors goon.
But
so I kind of have to.
But he literally has not been in front of a mic.
It's true.
He hasn't done anything in this series. To be goony at all.
But Edric can go with Barnes if he wants. But I also want to fight Dante Jones because I don't know.
It's a lot of Cavs players he wants
to fight. For what?
Well, first of all, I used to like Duke, and then Dante Jones, he comes into the NBA and he's terrible. So he made Duke look bad. Second of all, he talks a lot. How is he even on the team? Why is he on the team? Because LeBron likes him and he talks a lot? DeAndre Liggins all year actually give them like decent minutes.
No, DeAndre Liggins is awful.
Well, he's better than Dante Jones.
Okay, we're getting to the point where we're arguing Dante Jones and DeAndre
I'm just telling you I want to fight them all.
I mean, technically, basketball skill set, yeah, Liggins is better, but I'd rather have Dante Jones on my team than Liggins.
Okay, well, I'm just giving you the truth here, and that's I want to fight all of them, or at least I don't like them a lot, and then sort of want. I mean, I really would like to get Richard Jefferson to just retire. I don't know.
RJ's good. He was productive. He'll probably retire after that. He should.
RJ was on the Dubs, and he missed 2 crucial free throws against the Spurs in the playoffs.
It's absolutely true.
What a joke! I'll never forgive him.
Against the Spurs, that's ironic. Two fan bases that can't stand him.
We're giving the people what they want.
All right, so
Patrick answered it with Iman Shumpert. We're like, Okay.
Oh, I don't even want to fight Iman Shumpert.
No, I was just asking you for a player that
only player in the NBA that I really want to fight is Devin George. You can write that.
Devin George?
Yeah.
That's holding a grudge.
That's Don Nelson's favorite player.
Oh,
ever.
dude, don't get me started.
That follows Don Nelson.
No. Anyways, no. We're not talking about Devin George.
All right. For me, the guy that when he is successful and it bothers me is Tristan Thompson. I just feel like he was 6 for 6 tonight, and some of those shots were just those Zaza layups, just bully in there and you just throw it up with no grace and it just goes in, and I'm just like, what the? How? He was I think he was 6 for 6 tonight, and he missed 1 free throw, and he actually made a really big impact on the game.
I mean, that's what he stayed for.
Not said in the first 3 games, he was god awful. He was playing so poorly that it got to a point where when some Warriors fans were talking to me about Zaza's value to the team, I actually used Zaza as a reason why Tristan Thompson was doing so poorly. I was like, maybe it's Zaza, because last year Tristan was beasting.
That's fair. I mean,
I don't know what was wrong with Tristan this series, but you're right, he was awful the first game.
The 3 games, last game he was good. This game he was pretty damn good too. So but sometimes when I watch him play, I'm like, man, how?
What's funny is I looked up after 3 games the stats, and offensively the Cavs were actually okay, if not good, with Tristan Thompson. It was defensively he was their worst player,
really,
per their rating, and coming into the finals he was their number 1 defensive player by defensive rating.
Wow!
And after 3 games he was their worst player, and there's a million reasons for that. But obviously one is that you can't hide Tristan Thompson or Harrison Barnes because he's not on the team
True.
anymore. Another thing is that Steph Curry could actually drive and finish to his left.
Yeah.
But he was just bad. But I mean, even without that, he was just not in the right spots ever.
He'll be getting offensive rebounds because he's such a big dude and he wasn't getting them. But like defensively, we just provided a lot more problems, and we just played a much better offensive series than we did last year.
So, I mean, that also goes into the Cavs not trapping. That's what I felt like. That's also what killed Thompson.
A lot more than they did.
All right. So let's close this out, I guess.
Wait, so can we cuss on this thing or no?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Sure.
Fuck Devin George. Okay,
all right, thank you.
Should we go to the parade or not? Are you giving that a +1 or?
That's y'all got it.
I don't know if I want to go all the way out to Oakland. Sit in traffic.
Y'all got it. You've been there before.
I didn't go last time.
All right, so I think anyway, this is basically done now, so you can probably stop the bit. But